Hello, episode 4 of Turn 1, as we continue to manipulate the Japanese ships into the ports and places and missions we want. I want to clarify something about aircraft production that might have been confusing. Aircraft production takes the size plus a random number of 1 to 30, divides it by 30. That's how many aircraft are produced that day. And for each aircraft produced, you expend 18 heavy industry. So any place of a size 29 or larger is going to produce at least one aircraft a day. Any place under 28 may not produce an aircraft at all because, say, Hiroshima Mercury, 27 plus 1 to 30, random number of 1 would be 28 divided by 30 is less than 1, so it's not going to build anything. If you have a 30 and it gets the random number of 30, it will produce 2 aircraft that day. Engines work the same way. So Tokyo, 210 divided by 30, could produce 7 a day instead of 6. It'll always produce 6. And it's per day. Since they don't produce all this total per day, we're not spending 9,000 heavy industry per day. We're spending 9,000 heavy industry per month. But when you combine engines and air and armaments, which expend 6 heavy industry, and vehicles, which expend heavy industry, we don't really have a lot to spare. The other thing I've been doing as I go around is I'm converting the AKLs, my smallest class of transport ship, into auxiliary ships. These little miscellaneous auxiliary ships are useful for the small boats that will be operating out of various bases. Minesweepers, mine tenders, mine layers, and patrol boats and the ASW ships. An AG can rearm and repair them. And we don't have a lot of them to start with. So as I'm going through, I'm converting AKLs, so we only have 5 of them at the start. We only have 1 AKE, so I'm looking for ships that I can convert to ammunition transport ships. They're very useful for refueling the larger task force, not refueling, rearming the larger task force that are running surface combat and bombardment missions and need to replenish their ammunition. The one I have, I'm sending to the Pescadores. AR repair ships. The ARD, I haven't found a ship I can convert to an ARD, but this is a ship that's it's a floating dock, and it repairs nothing but hull damage, flotation, but it does it really well, and it's at truck. The ARs are your regular repair ships. I only have 2 of them at the start. I'm sending 1 to Pescadores. I haven't figured out where to send the other one yet. And I'm looking for ships to convert to AR. So as I find those AKLs or smaller ships that can convert to these classes of ships, I'm going to build them or convert them. I also need tenders for motor torpedo boats. The Japanese equivalent of a PT boat, which you use to put in straights and narrows to prevent enemy bombardment groups or enemy task force going through the hex will be encountered by your little motor torpedo boats, and hopefully that will force the enemy task force into not completing its mission. But in order to rearm torpedoes on these little things, you need a dedicated ship, a tender for them. So we're going to need, well, I figured 3 or 4 of them, and since I don't have any of them at all, I'll look for AKLs that are in the general vicinity of where I want to place one of these ships so they don't have to move very far. See, this mine layer, minesweeper, auxiliary, and a patrol boat. I'm probably a patrol boat for this one. Different class, AG. I think you pretty much need to go by the AG. I might have to use a larger. See, there's an AGP, an auxiliary gunboat patrol tender. It's not currently available because it needs a shipyard of 5, and there's no shipyard in this place. So I got to find either send that ship to a shipyard, or I find a ship that's already at a shipyard that can convert. It's like this one right here. But see what Scott's going to do. It's going to make its systems damage. I think it's going to gain. It's not going to hurt itself, and it'll take at least 3 weeks for it to convert. Is that close enough? Yeah, that's pretty much close enough. I'll do at least one. That's an AK. I would want the AKL. I was just seeing if a bigger ship could do it. Convert to AGP class. Zoop. I already converted one ship to AG to take care of the little boats that protect Shanghai, and now we'll have this patrol boat. It's not patrol boat. Patrol tender, gunboat patrol tender, and it'll probably likely end up someplace like Kagian or while we're fighting in Luzon, basing them out of Naga would allow patrol boats to sit out here and try to blockade Bataan. The plan for Luzon is very simple. Cut off as many of the allies as you can and kill them. Push all the rest of them back onto Bataan. Blockade them by putting units at Clark Field. The excess spare units will ride the railroad to Naga. We're going to build the port there, and they will load the transports here in Naga in order to go down to Mindanao and points west. And then, using mines, small boats, in the airfields, we fly cap over it so they can't air transport supply into Bataan. And the little bombers at Clark Field just bomb it every day, and eventually whatever's on Bataan will eat all its food and surrender or die. But we're not going to bother trying to march on to Bataan. I've tried that before, and there's big guns there. You know, like is it Corregidor, like the shape of a battleship or something? One of the little forts out there that looks like a battleship, only it's made out of concrete. So you can't drive a bombardment task force onto Bataan. Now once you get rid of the mine tenders and prevent mine layers from placing new mines, eventually Corregidor's mines and Manila's mines will degrade on their own. Because Manila's mine, I can't send ships there until it's cleared. But this can all be done by the middle of January. And you figure 10 days to load or whatever. In February, we can be taking over Mindanao, reinforcing the troops. By that time, we should be down to Kuala Lumpur and Kuantan with our advance. All these bases up here should be gone by then. That'll be gone, that'll be gone, that'll be gone. And we'll be marching on Muliman by middle of January. Hong Kong will be gone, and the 38th Division. Where are you at, 38th Division? Which belongs to 16th Army. I'm going to leave its objective on Hong Kong because Hong Kong's hard to take if you don't have the preparation for it. But the 16th Army can either transfer to assist, not 16th Army, 38th Division can transfer to help with Singapore or become part of 15th Army moving on Burma. This mission, this theater seems, I overlooked that a lot, forgetting how important it is in order to get up here and cut off the supply to China. Because I don't like, if I wasn't fighting in China, I probably wouldn't go much past Muliman. Simply because the further north I go, the farther from my supply I get, and I'm running right into Allied supply, and you reach a certain point where they've built up, and they just usually it's around this area. You're gonna bog down because you don't have enough troops, and it's hard to get supply to Rangoon because they air attack, surface attack. It's just hard to maintain this supply. Now, once you get it here and you get up here, you have the railroads. But you don't have the famous Bangkok to Rangoon railroad yet. I don't know if you ever get it. You can run a railroad all the way up to here and then just march just a little bit. So that's something to think about. You have you march up the coast with one division, have another division ride the rail all the way up to Chiang Mai, and then cut in behind. Because this division here, oh, it's not here yet. It's here. It rides the rail up to there. The 55th Division. These units can all ride the trains to Bangkok. Then over here, the problem is one regiment's headed to Guam. I usually let it take Guam and then put it on its transports and then send it on the long journey over to Bangkok. And meanwhile, the units in Bangkok can capture these two places. But after that, the division just sits in Tavoy, waiting for that last regiment and prepping for Rangoon. And we're off the subject again of the ships, aren't we? Well, anyway, that's about all. I'm going to continue assigning ships and moving them around. Just wanted to let you know what was going on and the fact that I don't have the sound because this game program is so old, OBS doesn't even recognize it to hook it. When you go to game mode, I have to use direct capture off my screen, so I can only run one soundtrack, audio track, and the game is not one of them. So we're not going to have sound. It's sad. Maybe I'll try to fix that. But anyway, see you later. Take care.